Chair Pilates, Part 1, Seated Position. So, first of all, we need to sit on the edge of the seat. Sitting on the edge of the seat, so you're only using about half the chair. And pull up from the pelvic floor and try to be tall as you possibly can. Tall through the top of your head, which is there. So if I give you a side view, tall through the top of the head, that's the crown of your head, and you retract the chin and then work in that position, sitting on the edge of your chair, pulling up through the pelvic floor. So, first of all, breathe in deep and wide into the rib cage, expanding your ribs out to the side. Push out all the air. At least 10 seconds of out breath. In through your nose, into the rib cage. Breathe out, long and slow, pursing the lips to resist the flow. So you have to work a little bit harder than usual to breathe out. So we call that power breathing. The more you push out, the more the stomach muscles start to engage to help you push the air out. So breathing in through your nose, deep into the rib cage, deep and wide. Breathe out, resist the flow, push it out, push out, push out, push out as much as you can. Recommended breathing first thing in the morning anyway, deep and wide, in through your nose. And very slow out breath. If you can do it without coughing, all good. So, as you breathe out, notice the stomach muscles and hang on to that feeling. The lower abdominals, the TVA, transversus abdominis, engage gently but firmly below the belly button. Pelvic floor, also pulling up and holding gently but firmly. And then let's move the head slowly from side to side. Just the head, working the neck muscles and lubricating the joints in the neck. Nice and slow. Back to the beginning. Retract the chin. Work on the shoulder shrugs, slowly up, round and down. Nice and slow. Now, those of you who happen to have a fit ball at home, quite a lot of exercises are multifunctional for chair and for the fit ball. Shrug the shoulders up, round and down. And then pull the shoulders away from the ears. With the fit ball, you're also seated not so much in the middle, but slightly forward of the middle. So again, I'll show you a side view. So I'm not sitting there on the middle. I'm sitting slightly off the centre there. So the centre's just behind my spine there. And that's your perfect position. As you can see, neutral spine, just the same as being on a chair. The difference is my legs are having to do a little bit more work. If the floor is slippery, so bare feet, de rigueur with football. So we've done the shoulders. Now we're going to work on a little bit of pelvic mobilising. So that's where you tilt the pelvis and roll onto your tailbone, hollowing out in front, rounded spine, and then you breathe in, back to neutral. Breathe out, roll back, but don't lean back. Breathe in. So whether you're on a chair or a football, you need to make sure that you are rounded, not leaning. Breathe in as you come back up. Tall and straight, pulling up your pelvic floor. And then we're going to do some arm work, shoulder work. I'll show you from the front view, sitting tall and straight, shoulders away from the ears. We stretch the arm over, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe out, stretch. Breathe in, come back. Notice how hard you have to work. The higher the arm goes, the more you have to work to keep the shoulders and the rib cage, in fact, in place. Breathe out, stretch. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, stretch. Breathe in, return. And last, single. Try it with both arms now. It's a lot harder. You've really got to work on those shoulder muscles, pulling away from the ears. If you get to here and you're thinking, I'm not sure if I have shrugged or not, well, shrug then, and then pull it back down. So if you can shrug, then you weren't. And pull the arm slowly up and shrug, pull it down. So now you know how it feels with the arms up and the shoulders away from the ears. Just one more. Breathe out. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in. Relax. So next I'm going to do some side stretching. This is for the rib cage. Exactly the same on the chair or on the football. Same idea. You put one hand on this side or corner of the chair. Pull the tummy in. Hand on the side. Bring your arm up slowly, breathing in. Because when we go over for the stretch, that's when we need to breathe out. Breathe in, coming back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And so on. In. Out for the stretch. That's the main thing to remember. Everything else flows from that. Okay? So you need to breathe in there so you can breathe out. Feel the stretch up the rib cage there. Great stuff. Okay, that's marvellous. So let's do a little bit of footwork and hopefully you can see my feet if I've set the camera up correctly. So, what we're trying to do here is some footwork, just warming up the feet and ankles. Now, because I'm on the ball rather than on a chair, I'm just holding my hands here at the side so I don't fall over. However, if you are practicing at home, why don't you just not put your hand on there and work on keeping yourself balanced, because it'll be a challenge. Try toe lifts now. Toe lifts. And maybe try heel, opposite toe. Heel, opposite toe. There we go. Exactly the same on a chair or a ball. Except on the ball, a little bit more tricky because you have to balance as well. So, you shouldn't see me fall off because if I do, I'm just going to cut it. So, after we've worked on the feet and staying balanced or on the chair, whichever you prefer. What I'd like to do now is a little bit of 100 style. So 100 is where the arms beat. Now we can do that 100 times like Mr. Pilates did. Interesting thing that happens when you're on a ball is when you pulse your arms like this, it makes the ball wobble a little bit, which is great. So pulse the arms, pulse the arms, pulse the arms, and try to hold yourself still. And you could try holding one leg off. So that's really hard on the ball. Not quite as hard on the chair, but still hard. So I'm going to try and time you now. We're going to do 2 minutes. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So go for one leg, pulsing the arms and trying to stay still, pulling your tummy in. Power breathing. In, out, 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 out. And change legs. Keep going. We're doing 30 seconds. And then I'm getting you to change legs. Make sure you're not leaning back. Keep going. When you've got a leg out in front, tempting to lean back. You've got to stay exactly where you are and keep pulsing. Right, that's the first minute. Keep going. You can leave out the arms, you can leave out the leg. Do one or the other. Keep breathing. Stay tall. Use your core. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. In, out, 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 out. Change legs. Keep pulling that tummy in. Keep breathing. "15 seconds to go." And relax. So when we're on the chair, we can do a full body stretch, a little bit more tricky on a ball. So what you would do on a ball is go right down and then lie across your ball. For the ladies on the chairs and gentlemen on the chairs, we're going to do full body stretch. So you just stretch your legs out, your bottoms nicely hugging the edge of your chair, and you stretch your arms and get your tummy stretched as well. So while you're there, mobilise your fingers, mobilise your wrists, mobilise your toes, mobilise your ankles, breathe deeply, and then bring yourself back to our starting position. Next, I'd like to try some work for the back of your arms, which requires that I turn my chair sideways, I think, so you can see a little bit better. So, sitting on the edge, pulling the tummy in. First of all, I'm going to tilt forward a little bit. Notice I'm staying long through the spine and neck, and chin's retracted. So hopefully ear, shoulder, hip, all in a nice straight line. Then I'm going to take the shoulders away from the ears, make sure they're away from the ears. I'm going to take my arms slowly back. So make sure as you do this that your shoulders don't roll forward. That's really important. So squeeze your shoulder blades in and down. Take your arms back. Keep your tummy switched on. Take your arms back. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And this is where you should be feeling it, in the back of the arm, the tricep muscle. Have a little rest. And then squeeze again. Be very mindful of your posture, shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Feel the back of the arms and relax. So now we're going to do a little bit of lifting off the chair. So it's a squat starting, it's like a reverse squat really, starting from the chair position and squeezing the glutes to come up. So there's a couple of different versions you can do of this. First of all, tilt forward and then a lift off and hover. So that's quite hard, hovering just above your seat, your quads working really hard. And then carefully place yourself back on the chair. Don't plop down like a sack of potatoes. So we're trying to use the quads, and that's working quite hard, just hovering. The other version we could try is tilt from the hip and then squeeze the glutes and bring yourself up. And when you're up, give your stomach and bottom an extra squeeze. And then come down again, slowly and carefully, onto the edge of your seat. And here we go again. Tilt from the hip, squeeze your tummy, squeeze your bottom, push through the heels, and come up. When you get up, extra squeeze, and come down. Don't do this one on the ball. That would not be a good idea. So tilt forward from the hip, pull your tummy in, and push through the heels, and up. Tummy, bottom, extra squeeze, and come back down. You do about half a dozen, maybe 10 of these. Tilt forward from the hip, squeeze your bottom, push through the heels, and when you're up, extra squeeze, come back down. Once more for luck. Tilt from the hip, squeeze your bottom, push through the heels, extra squeeze.